Hey everybody, it's Liz, Westar Tarot, back for, I think this is part 6 of my culling series. So now I'm sitting back down on the floor. I thought I would show you this shelf right here. Most of these I think are going to be keeps, but then I also have this, I'm trying to, basket. So I walked around my house and I looked in different nooks and crannies and bookcases and said, all right, I am going to try and find every darn deck in this house so that when I finish this series, I don't say, oh, but then there's this one. So anyway, let's see, let me adjust this. I think that's a little better. So yeah, so here we go with part 6. This is yet another bookcase. Of course, this is all, oh, this isn't all books. Well, I'll start right here. Oh my goodness. Move my beloved crystals around. Shells for my world travels. This is my house. It's full of shells and driftwood and crystals and books and tarot decks. So this is the Brady Tarot in its original edition in the wooden box. With the guidebook by Rachel Pollack. It's a chunky guidebook by Rachel. This is by Emily Brady, and you know what? It's in order. I mean, I know I maybe used it once or twice. It has this lovely. So this is that rose petal that people don't like, but I think it's lovely. It's all animals. It does have, is it on the minors that it has? Yes, on the minors it has keywords. I'm just going to move this a little bit. So yeah, beautiful deck, woodcuts, all individually made. But I know people have some objections to it. I don't, but I've never really been called to use it much, and I've been hanging on to it because it's in this beautiful box. And you can see, so there's the swords and the wands with the flame and the water. Where's our earth? Oh, here. Oh, no, wait a minute. That's swords. I don't know. Anyway, the elements are around the edges. It's a beautiful box. And the deck is beautifully made and high quality. But it's still in order. I mean, I know I have used it, but only a few times. So should I put it in goodbye? Like just, I'm going to put it in goodbye. My God, that's killing me. All right. Down here, these are like, as I said, these are mainly decks I'm going to keep. This one I already showed you. It's the mother piece. I'm sorry, it's the Daughters of the Moon. This is the mother piece. So look, it's all faded. I have it wrapped in this little scarf that a friend of mine gave me, and it is silk. Remember when that was a thing, wrapping your decks in silk? So this is my first tarot deck, and I really don't use it much, but you know what? It's my first tarot deck. I'll never get rid of it. Never. So that's staying. This is in a pouch that my mom gave me. I think it's supposed to be, you know, if you're giving someone a bottle of wine for a present, but my mom gave it to me because she knew I liked stars and moons. And in it, these cards, the Goddess Oracle by, Ranajanto and, oh, I forget the woman who, she did the art. I forget the name of the woman who did the guidebook. But this was like maybe my third or fourth deck. And, you know, this was formative to me in terms of my, you know, spiritual and ritual work. So I'm keeping that one. I have a few other goddess decks now, but still that's kind of the main one. And then another one of my first decks, probably in the top 10, is this one. You know, I don't remember the name of it, but it's a crystal deck. I actually got it at the New England Gem and Mineral Show. There's this place in Gloucester, Massachusetts called Heaven and Earth, and I think they were instrumental in creating this. It's so it's kind of interesting. It's a little bit out there. I do have another crystal deck by Judy Hall, but I put that in the goodbye pile because I feel like I don't need more than one crystal deck. And this is the first one I had. I've had this for probably 30 years, and I'm going to keep it. It has a really chunky guidebook. Sorry, I can't acknowledge the creators. All right, this one, this is the Cosmovision art cards. I already talked about that deck. The Tao Oracle, haven't really used this much, but I am going to keep it because it's the only thing I have I Ching related. And so I'm going to keep that. Oh, can you hear my paper bags crinkling? The Celtic Shaman's Pack. This is by John Matthews and illustrations by Cheska Potter. And to be honest, the reason I got this deck was my grandparents and therefore my ancestry is Celtic. My grandparents are from Scotland. They immigrated to the United States when my grandmother was 18, my grandfather was 14, or the other way around. You could see Cheska's beautiful art. Anyway, I got this because I thought some of the shamanic decks were, you know, appropriative of other cultures, and this is Celtic, and I am Celtic, and also, you know, I've been lusting for the Greenwood Tarot, and I thought this is probably the only deck I'll ever have that has Cheska's art, so I got it. And at first I was going to say put this in the goodbye pile, but as I'm looking at it and thinking about it, I'm going to put it in the maybe. All right, Avalon Oracle. This is a keep. I love this. And this is one of the decks that I want to spend more time with. And I have to say, one of the things that I'm going to do after I finish this entire culling is I'm going to make a list of the 5 or 10 decks that I want to spend more time with and really do that because I feel like I will have cleared out a lot of clutter. And so I will have time to look at, okay, these are the 5 or 10 decks that I want to dive into. And that's one of them. This is another deck that will never go anywhere. This is the beautiful Weaver's Oracle. And how I use this deck is I pull one card at a time, usually at the beginning of each month, and she sits on my altar as sort of a guidance or a presence for a month. So I only get to 12 a year, but that is a deck that I adore. This is a book. By the way, this is a great book, Tarot at the Crossroads. It's by Cooch Daniels and Victor Daniels, and he is a Gestalt psychotherapist, and she is a tarot reader. And they were one of the first folks that I came across who were combining tarot and psychology, so therapy, psychological or talk therapy and tarot together. And it's a really fascinating book, and they talk about their process. So as a social worker and a tarot reader, I found it quite interesting. All right, next up, Herb Crafters. That is a keep. Oh, this is the lovely, this is a hummingbird oracle. Messages from the Hummingbird Oracle Cards by Rosea Alarcon, who is she's a ethnobotanist, PhD in ethnobotany, and a curandera, ancestral, and an herbalist, and just an all-around amazing woman. I have taken classes from her at the International Herb Symposium on occasion. She's incredible. She also does retreats for women in Ecuador, where she's from. The art is by Luisa Santiago Acosta. And I should show you, because I don't think it's like a super well-known deck, but it's got hummingbirds and plants on each card. So there's the hummingbird and there's the plant. And then the guidebook is in English and Spanish. So for Spanish-speaking folks, this might be a nice option. And because I had this experience with a hummingbird, I am very attracted to hummingbirds. So I'm not sure if I ever talked about this on my channel before, but my friend and I were sitting out on my deck in our the back of our house, and we had an animal oracle, I don't even remember which one, in front of us, and we decided we were going to pull cards to see who wanted to be our animal guide for, at that point in time, whatever. So we had the cards. So I went first and I was shuffling, and I'm asking the cards, who wants to step forward, who will guide me, who will act as my guide. And before I could even pull a card, a hummingbird flew up to me, like, maybe this far away from me, eye level, flap, 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 for a minute, and just hovered there, looking at me eye to eye, and then flew off. And my friend and I looked at each other, and I said, oh, guess I don't need to pull a card. I said to her, I am so glad you were here to witness that, because honestly, if that had just happened to me by myself, I would be like, did that really happen? It really happened. So now, I love hummingbirds anyway, but I have this close connection to them because of that kind of magical thing that happened. All right. I digress once again. This is a compendium of witches oracle. I'm going to say no. Beautiful cards. Half are witches, half are like animals and plants and things, but I just never connected to it. It's just falling for another pretty deck that doesn't speak to me. Now, if that deck does speak to you, great. I'm not criticizing the deck in any way. It's gorgeous, but it just didn't speak to me. And as you can see, I have plenty of decks that do speak to me, so I'm letting that one go. All right, this is the Pamela Coleman Smith commemorative set by U.S. Games. I love this. This is, so it's honoring Pamela and her contribution. So it does have the centennial deck in it, and it has 2 books. So I always wanted to get this book, but I just never did. This is the Pictorial Key to the Tarot by Arthur Edward Waite. And then there's like a little book about Pixie. And there's some art cards of Pixie's art, and it's just kind of a nice keepsake to have. You know, I do have an incredibly warm place in my heart and a strong admiration for Pamela Coleman Smith. I feel like, at least during her lifetime, she did not get the accolades or the recognition that, you know, she is during our lifetime. So anyway, I'm going to keep this chunky monkey. I really like it. Okay, next up. The baseball deck. I love this deck. I am a baseball nerd. I love baseball. From the time I was like a little kid, 6 or 7 years old, I can remember summer Sunday afternoons, my dad and me watching the Red Sox play. Back then, the games weren't really on at night because they didn't have the big giant lighting system, so they were mainly day games. So, and my grandmother was a Red Sox fan, and my grandfather, but he died before I really knew him, but my grandmother was a big Red Sox fan. She took us to the park when we were kids. Yeah, so I have a thing about baseball. And when I saw this deck, I was selling my herbal products at like a psychic fair. And, you know, I took a break and just walked around to see what other people were selling. And there was some folks there selling cards, and one table was selling this deck. And I just about died when I saw it. I'm like, what? Baseball? It's by Baseball Tarot. It's by Mark Lerner and Laura Phillips. He's the baseball person. She's the tarot person. And it's really clever. They did such a great job of merging the two systems, and it makes a lot of sense. I think the World card is called the World Series. The Fool, I think, is called the Rookie. What's the Devil called? I forget. The coach or the manager is the Hierophant. Anyway, it's really clever. All right, so this is the Druid Animal Oracle deck. And I combined the plant one in here. So I think I have 2 versions of the animal deck because I decided to edge it. It's got green backings and it's got blue backings and the plant has green backings. And I was traveling for work and I decided, I'm going to bring this and edge it. And I started to edge the animal deck, and it wasn't the right cardstock. The green just bled all over the card. So I got a second set. So I'll release one of them. I don't need 2. This is the plant one. This has the big book. And so I'll be keeping this. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the animal one or not, probably, but let me put that in maybe. Is this maybe? Yeah. No. Oh, shoot. I'm getting my piles mixed up. Okay. So that's it for that shelf. I'm just going to put a couple back here because I know I'm going to keep them. Baseball Tarot. Yeah, so I knew that this was not going to be a lot of goodbyes on this shelf because these are decks that I use a lot and I like a lot. So let me now get into this basket where like I said, I kind of wandered around my house looking for decks in hidden nooks and crannies. So the first one, this I keep right in my bedroom. This is the Zodiac Tarot, and you can see I have I'm doing the deck and walk this year, and I was inspired to do it by Marlena Teresa. I'm not really following her videos I watch her videos, but I'm just doing it on my own. But I have to say the idea came to me from her. And thankfully, I got the book by Corrine Kenner. It's a tarot and astrology book. And that has just clarified things for me so much. And I am really enjoying going through the decans and putting the cards and the astrological signs and planets and so forth together, the decans together. I also have this one, this astrology deck. I'm going to keep this one too. This was gifted to me by a friend who bought it for themselves and said they were done with it, but thought I should have it and gave it to me. So I will be keeping that. This is the wisdom of the Kala. I'm sorry, I don't speak Gaelic, so I don't know how to say that. I like this deck. I'm glad I got it, but wow, it was pricey, and I think it's only like 32 card deck. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to keep this or not. I feel like there's a lot of cards in it that are similar to the Weavers and the nature cards. I don't know. So I'm going to put this in the maybe pile. And I guess I'm going to say, if anyone's interested in it, to let me know. It's hard to come by. The creator only makes a few of them at a time, and you kind of have to hit it just right when she actually has some in stock. So the next one up is this. I also keep in my bedroom because I'll do sometimes nighttime draws. The Tolku Oracle. I'll be keeping that one. Oh, gee, this is a lot of keeps. Salt and Sea Energy Oracle Deck and Guidebook. That's a maybe. I also got another kind of oceany deck this summer, and I think I'm more attracted to that one. So I'm going to keep that one and put that one in maybe. Anatomy of a Witch. This is Laura Tempest Zakroff. I actually bought this from her. I was at a... what was it called? A Day of Witchery. It was in Rhode Island near Providence, and Laura was there, and Christopher Penzance was there, and they had tarot readers and vendors and, you know, classes, and oh, it was really, really fun. And so I bought this from Laura. I don't know, the verdict's out. I am going to keep this because I've only worked with it a couple times, and I want to give it a chance. Next up is... this is the Golden Botticelli Tarot. I bought this. I found this in a random bookcase in my house. I bought this years ago. I wonder if it says when it was published. 2007. After a trip to Italy. And it's in order. I don't think I ever used it. But this is what it looked. Can you see? I don't know if you can see the gold, but it does have some nice bling on it, which I liked, but it's got Botticelli's art. So anyway, I bought this after a trip to Italy. I had gone to the Uffizi Museum in Florence, where there's a lot of Botticelli art, and I was inspired by that. And I think in the gift shop of the museum, they had that deck, and I was going to buy it. And it was like 50 euro or something. It was a lot. And this was like 15 or plus years ago. So I went and I Googled on Amazon or something. It must have been Amazon. And it was like 20 bucks. I said, you know what? Same deck. I'll buy it when I get home. But I've never used it. So I'm going to put that in the goodbye pile. This is kind of a funny little thing. So this is the truncated version of the Power of Yin Oracle deck. So it's just like 20 cards or something. And I bought this, the creator put it on Instagram, and I had always been curious about this deck, but I just wasn't curious enough to cough up the money for the whole deck. So I thought, oh, I'll buy this truncated version. And you know what? I'm not going to use it. but I can't really sell it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it. And what I like to do with some decks that I'm not going to use is I'll just pull a card when it's someone's birthday and put it in the birthday card and mail it to them. So I will be giving this away card by card. All right, next up is Tarot of the Spirit by the, which is a mother-daughter, Pamela Eakins and Joyce Eakins. Pamela wrote the big old chunky guidebook. She's PhD, and her mom is a painter and MFA. It's thought-based, and the book is incredible. I've had this, it's the older version. It's not the most recent version. I have the book. This is a no. I've hardly ever used it, and I'm not going to use it. It just doesn't speak to me. So this is one of the most recent offerings by Carrie Paris with Nancy Hendrickson and art with Angelica Castro, the Ofrenda Oracle. So it's an oracle. It's a Lenormand with extra cards, so you can either use it strictly as a Lenormand, or you can also add the other oracle cards in. It also is a casting system, so it came with charms and a spread cloth or a casting cloth. Hardly used it. I've had it for a few months now, but I want to hold on to it because I want to try it. It's for ancestral work. Next up is the Endless Oracle. This is lovely. I really like the idea about it. It's to help with like storytelling and putting a set of cards together. I forget what he calls them. Oh, Myriorama. So you put together a set of cards and set up this, scene, and then you use it to tell a story. The book is lovely. I think I'm going to put this in no, because I really haven't used it. It's lovely. It's beautiful, but I gotta... This is from Kelly Fitzgerald, her tokens. I have the cards and the guidebook, and someone, an online friend of mine, sent these to me because she wasn't using them. So I have these. And then, this I think is the Druid Plant Oracle. Yeah, this is the Plant Oracle. So this is a maybe. I think I decided on that one. And then last but not least, woohoo, this is the Affirm a Flower. This is the Bach and FES Flowers set. This is by the Flower Essence Society. So back in the day, the Flower Essence Society, it's out of Culver, California. They were one of the few places way back in the day where you could actually buy flower essences. So when I had, it's by Patricia Kaminsky, who is one of the founders of that organization. And so back in the day when I had an herbal practice, I got these cards because I thought, there's a big old stack of them. So I thought it would be kind of fun for people to pull one. Oh, look what's on top. St. John's wort, Hypericum perforatum. And then on the back it says, like a little poem. I am guided and protected in both working and dreaming life. I transform outer light into self-sustained inner light. I learn to trust my own inner light. The sun is shining in my soul. Oh, I love the sun is shining in my soul. And then here's Echinacea. I stand strong within myself. I meet adversity with inner strength. My core self is sacrosanct. I am this luminous self. So I just thought, as part of people's visits with me, as I said back when I had my herbal practice, that they could pull a flower essence card and decide if, in fact, they wanted to work with that flower essence or not. So I will keep this because I think when I get back to reading more in public, which I'm hoping to do starting later this fall, I will bring these cards and let people pull a card and see if they want to work with that flower essence. I still think that's a good plan. So that is the end of round 6. We just have one more to go, and I have to say, this one, I didn't let too many of them go, and I kind of knew that was going to happen because I can see very clearly the decks on this shelf, and I use them quite often. So I knew that I wasn't really going to let too many of these go. But the last but not least, the part 7 in the other room, I think I'll be letting a lot of those go. So here we are. Moving along. I'm sort of excited. My gosh. No, could you see all these bags and bags and boxes of decks? Anyway, thanks for going on this journey with me. Once again, I appreciate your support and insights and comments. Several folks have already reached out to me about decks, so that's a good sign. So do let me know if there are decks that you already know you're interested in. And as I said, when I finish this next video, then I'm going to make a video of all the decks I have up for sale, and we'll see what happens. All right, my friends, take care. Peace and love.